Hello guys, this is Ameta from class 10th A. Today I will explain the poem A Tiger in the Zoo. Now we will talk about the poet. The poet of this poem is George Leslie Norris. He was a prize-winning Welsh poet and writer. He is considered as most important Welsh writers of the post-war period, and his literary works have won many prizes. His famous works are Finding Gold, The Loud Winder, Phoenix Living Poet series Ransoms, etc. And now the first paragraph. He stalks in his vivid strips, the few steps of his cage, on pads of velvet quiet in his quiet rage. Now the word meanings. Stalks means follows, vivid means bright color, pads means pose of tiger, and rage means anger. Now the explanation of the poem. Here the poet describes a tiger in a cage. The tiger is confined in zoo, moves around in the cage under his bright colored skin. He further says the tiger can take only a few steps because the cage is too small and is not easy to move in it. One cannot hear the footsteps of tiger because tiger paws are compared with velvet. The tiger tries to control his anger by quietly moving in the limited area. He is angry, but he does not show his angriness because he knows that he is helpless. Now the literary devices. The rhyme scheme in the first paragraph is ABC. Personification is used because tiger is personified because the poet refers him as he. Metaphor. Tiger's paws are compared with velvet. Enjambment is used because sentence is continued to next line without any punctuation marks. Imagery. Poet tries to create an image about the tiger that he stalks in his vivid strips. Consonance is also used because there is a use of an sound, as sound in stalks, his, and strips. Next, assonance. There is a use of vowel sound I in his vivid strips. Oxymoron means the use of adjectives opposite in meaning, means quite rich. Now the second paragraph. He should be lurking in shadow, sliding through long grass, near the water hole where plump deer pass. Now the lurking means to be hidden as to wait for your prey. The poet says that if the tiger was free, he would have hid himself behind the long grass which is near the water hole and waiting for a healthy deer in order to have its food. Basically, the poet wants to say that actual life of tiger is to live in forest and not in a cage where he could catch his prey, but the tiger is in the cage cannot do so. Now the literary devices. Here the rhyme scheme is also ABCD. Enjambment is used because line continues without any punctuation marks. Alliteration is used because there is a repetition of P sound in plump pass. Imagery is also used because poet tries to create an image of tiger's activities, means lurking in shadows. Now the third paragraph. He should be snarling around houses at the jungle's edge, bearing his white fangs, his claws, terrorizing the village. Now the word meanings are snarling means warning sounds made by animals. Bearing means uncovered and fangs means sharp tooth of tiger. The poet says that if tiger would have been free, he would have snarling around the houses located at the outskirts of the forest. He would terrorize the villagers by showing his sharp tooth and claws. This would create fear among the people living in the villages. Now the literary devices rhyme scheme is ABCB. Enjambment is used because line continues without punctuation mark. Onomatopoeia is used because Snarling is used, which is a sound. Assonance is also used because there is a vowel sound O and I in the paragraph. Consonance is used because there is a use of consonant sound as in his, fangs, his claws. Now the fourth paragraph. But he is locked in a concealed cell, his strength behind bars, stalking the length of his cage, ignoring the visitors. Word meaning concealed means building made of bricks, cements, sand and water. Now the poet comes to reality. The tiger is inside the cage. He says the tiger is confined in a strong concealed cell which is made of strong building material. He further says that a tiger is behind bars. So his ferociousness is also behind the bars. He just talks in the cage. He never tries to terrorize the visitors because he knows that he is helpless and he just ignores the visitors and he cannot attack on them. Literary devices. Rhyme scheme is ABCD. Personification is used because tiger is personified as he. Assonance is used because there is a use of vowel sound E in he, log, consider, etc. Consonance is used because there is a use of consonant sound S in his, strength and bars. Alliteration is used because B is repeated in two words behind bars. Now the fifth paragraph. He hears the last voices night, the patrolling cars and stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. Word meaning patrolling means to guard, to vigil. The poet says that in the night also tiger is disturbed. Patrolling cars are the vehicles of police which are used to guard at night. So in the night tigers hear the sounds of these cars. He then stares at the shining sky with his shining eyes. The poet wants to say that tiger is sad as he is locked in a cage, so he cannot do anything. Therefore, he stares at the stars in the sky in the hope of freedom. Literary devices. Rhyme scheme is A, B, C, D. Enjambment is used because line continues without punctuation mark. Alliteration is used because there is a repetition of at sound in he and hers. Assonance is used because there is a use of I sound with his. Now the summary of the poem. The poet begins with the description of tiger that is very beautiful and is walking in his little cage. He has bright and black strips on his skin and his fats are soft like velvet. But the tiger is not happy and is quite angry because he is locked inside a cage. The poet says that if the tiger was not confined to the zoo cage, he would have been hiding near the long grass, near the water hole, in the hope of a healthy deer for his food. But actually, he is confined in a cage. The poet also described that he would be snarling around houses which are located at the outskirts of forest. This would create fear among the people which are living at the forest edge. He also says that a tiger is stares at the stars in the sky because he knew that he is helpless and in the hope of freedom. Thank you.